what's up? Welcome back to Visual Effects Artist React.
We're going to be looking at the hyper-controversial Snow White trailer and taking a look at Mufasa, comparing that to the original Lion King trailer.
Also, we're going to be taking a look at tsunamis across the decades. Dude, that shot.
Whoa!
That freaking shot.
We have a brand new shirt. It is available at corridordigital.store, and you will only have 1 week to place orders.
This is a Griffin special inspired by The Simpsons, obviously. He drew it up, it's all screen printed.
It's super soft and comfy.
This is a limited edition run, so if you want one, you gotta sign up now, corridordigital.store.
This trailer just dropped today, and it's time to take a look. We are looking at Snow White, and the 7...
That's a pretty good looking shot.
Dude,
it looks lush. I can feel the peach fuzz of that deer from here.
Deer ear from here.
Damn.
That's great contact, though. The ridge is perfect, because they often have a stand-in with a fake deer head or something.
Sometimes it's just a man.
Sometimes it's just a man's
It's just a man, and there's just what? Look at that shot. Oh my God, look at this. Jesus.
It's a very pretty shot. It's very like painterly. And those are the 7 dwarves, right?
Yeah.
I don't know the word to describe them. They're very like
They all look
faithful to the cartoon.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah,
You know?
faithful to the cartoon. But
at the sacrifice of seeming human.
yeah, it's this weird painterly uncanny valley. Like you were saying painterly before.
Right.
But it's like this interesting hybrid of not supposed to be photoreal.
Yeah.
But married to photoreal people, because they are real people.
Yeah.
So you're getting that insane contrast just thrown in your face in a one-to-one, like the whole time.
Yeah, it's kind of like you remember that Tintin movie that came out?
Yeah.
It's like, imagine just Tintin was like a real person.
Yeah.
The rest of the movie's the same. like, that's it. I feel like this is gonna be.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of material, but since you don't know much about it, they did release one behind-the-scenes picture. They did it all practically.
Oh, is that them?
There they are.
Yeah, they're there. There they are.
Isn't that incredible?
There they are.
So they
Doesn't that look so realistic?
Are those? Wait, I'm confused. Some of them are dwarves, but
One.
are they all dwarves?
No. This is the whole thing with this movie. When Disney was getting ready to make this, they pivoted away from casting dwarves because they felt like that was, I don't know what their reasons were, to be honest with you. But Peter Dinklage was very upset about them making the 7 Dwarfs movie.
You're progressive in one way, but you're still making that fucking backward story of 7 dwarves.
I don't know if that affected anything on Disney's end, but Disney were going to do the 7 magical creatures, and they were not going to hire any dwarf actors.
Gosh, talk about getting cold feet.
Yeah, so that's what's interesting is when this picture was released, there was tremendous backlash, because now you're in a position where you can't win. It's like, congratulations, you really set yourself up. Because a lot of dwarf actors were upset that their roles were being taken away.
Yeah.
Like, these are opportunities to be main players in a major feature film. Like, that's an opportunity that doesn't come around very often.
But now they're all still small people.
Now
they're all
Exactly.
CG.
So then they go, okay, well, the magical creatures is getting terrible PR. We got to pivot. So then they enter this whole world of reshoots and pivot back to dwarves, but CG dwarves. So those jobs are still gone. It's a lot more expensive. They're doing way more reshoots. And then you get this final product.
I feel like this movie would have been easier if Snow White herself was full CG.
Yeah.
Because now they're having to... It's more complicated when you're having to integrate all of these CG elements with the live action play. You're locked to where that character is, where that person is acting. And their motion, the camera angles, all that stuff, whereas if everything was fully CG, there's a lot more flexibility to make sure you get the shots correctly. I mean, honestly, this doesn't look bad from a visual standpoint. But like another thing that, you know, people will say that this is definitely uncanny valley as far as like the dwarf faces go, but it's like their proportions are super wild, so they're never going to be able to get to that human level no matter what without changing their proportions to be more human.
If you look at the like-dislike ratio on that trailer, 69,000 likes, currently 770,000 dislikes.
Wow, it's a 10%
on this trailer?
North of 10 to 1, yes.
On this trailer? But why? But why?
We're obviously here to review the visual effects of this thing, but this movie is steeped in politics. It's like Little Mermaid times 10 mixed with the issues around Sonic the Hedgehog times 10.
The very first Sonic trailer where everyone hated the design of Sonic.
Well, that's the thing. That is the magical creatures. It's the first iteration they present, and everyone goes, boo, we hate it. So they repivot and then do all new CG. Of course, this requires reshoots unlike Sonic, where you could just change the character. All this stuff compiled together with 3 reshoots and possibly $400 million spent.
Also, Gal Gadot,
Oh, Gal Gadot's
she's got her own controversy.
There's all that controversy too. Yes, totally. There's all that controversy too. And then they roll out a final trailer, and all of this like angst and frustration attacks
compounds.
those like dislike buttons.
This looks fine.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's the root. When all of it trickles down, and you use the coffee filter to filter out all the mess, and the final result comes out, it's like, yeah, like a lot of the CG looks really good.
It's pretty good. I mean, we'll see what those dwarfs look like when they talk, though.
So editing these React videos, I've noticed something around the studio, what we call the editor hunch. It's a little something like this, you know? And this is terrible. We've lost many years off of our lives, but all of that changes with today's sponsor, UPLIFT Desks. Welcome to my new desk. This is my dream desk we got built here, okay? So the first thing is look how freaking stable this thing is. This is real wood. You hear that? We got all our UPLIFT Desk custom add-ons. One thing I really love, this tablet holder, because now I can treat my tablet as a third monitor. Also, I was able to add on all this custom wire management stuff, and it really helps keep my desk looking nice and clean. I used to have wooden planks on my desk to try to get the thing to the right level, but now, look at that. It's as easy as that, dude. Can I give you my mess?
I'll take your scraps because I don't have an UPLIFT desk. Apparently missed the memo on that one.
Yeah, enjoy those.
This is sad.
I love standing, but some days, you know, you want to sit. Now I have these pre-programmed settings where I can just boop. Yeah, this is going to be so much better for my posture, for my back. And now if I go back to 1, oh, here we go. Look at that angle. My freaking editor hunch, it's already starting to go away. And again, it all contributes to this feeling of like, oh, I finally have space. I finally have space in my mind to think about cool new ideas. If you want to uplift your own spines, your own creative energy, you're going to want to head over to upliftdesk.com/corridorcrew for free accessories, free same-day shipping, free returns with free shipping, an industry-leading 15-year warranty. That's upliftdesk.com/corridorcrew for a special offer that's only available at our link. So now with all this renewed creative energy, I'm going to get back to editing React, and you can get back to watching it.
Well, speaking of trailer VFX, I thought it would also be fun to look at the Lion King 2 trailer. First things first, we should watch the first Lion King trailer.
Okay.
Because
the live action?
The live action one, yeah.
While some are born to feast.
And it's gorgeous.
Yep.
Like, it's really, really pretty.
Yep.
But an issue that a lot of people had with it
Was?
is that the original animation had so much character and life to it because these are expressive beings.
Yeah.
Whereas if you're rooting it entirely in realism, you don't have that same character. You can't do those same things.
You lose that expressiveness.
Exactly. So they weren't able to relate or connect to these characters in the same way. They're now doing the Lion King Mufasa, and they have received all of this critique for characters lacking expression.
Ew, yeah, instantly.
You see?
That was fast. That was funny.
They have like added the cartoony nature back into total photorealism, or not total photorealism, but into photorealistic renders.
They're not acting like animals anymore.
Yeah.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, that's the thing, is like, that's the interesting debate is it working better now? Because now there's a lot more life in the faces, and it seems like people appreciate that. But you are also, then what's the point of doing it live action?
Well, I am definitely noticing there's a huge aesthetic difference between this one and the original Lion King movie. Because
massive.
It's the original live action CG Lion King movie. Everything looked like it was a picture taken out in the wilderness, out in the Serengeti. These are real animals they're taking pictures of. Outside of the facial animation that these animals have in this one, the overall look of it looks less realistic.
Yeah, like where's the camera in that shot too, by the way? Where's the camera? Is it on this lion's back? First film takes a lot of cues from nature documentaries and like how you would practically film animals in the wild. Not every single shot is exactly to that, but very quickly if you watch the shots, you'll see that there is a lot less camera movement at times, and there's they're all very rooted in reality.
Yeah, the lighting and the shading of the first Lion King movie looks more dramatic, more realistic.
Yeah.
But even still, like if you look at these shots though, that they're all like telephoto lens, a lot of telephoto shots. They're a little more chill with the camera movement.
I have no problem with all the animals being more animated in their faces, being able to have more expression. That was something the original Lion King movie kind of lacked because they were trying to ground everything so hard in photorealism and in how animals actually work. So I don't have a problem pushing that further. I think for me, it's just the overall aesthetic.
There is certainly, when comparing them, there's a big difference between Lion King and Mufasa. So it's interesting that in the same universe, they've made such a strong pivot in terms of their approach. And this is, of course, all based on feedback from that first one, which is, again, what drove the change in Snow White. It was the feedback.
I will also just point out that it is very evident that this is very high-level work, and it's a lot of work.
Oh, yeah.
Everything I've seen here, it's like, yeah, there's a lot going on here. I can't do that.
Yo,
I
Wren,
can't do that.
we're in the business of splitting hairs, though. Come on.
It was like at the end when the lions are like in the water and whatnot. It was like, those are advanced shots.
Yeah,
Oh,
compared
yeah.
to Avatar. Trash. No, sorry.
I'm such a nerd for VFX. I just like tasty VFX.
All right, I feel like we should go ahead and just get swept away a little bit and talk about something else.
I agree.
Feels like a strong segue.
So I wanted to take a look at tsunamis in movies. They've been done over the course of several decades, and they've been getting better in quality over the years. Do you remember the movie Deep Impact?
I didn't see it, but I remember when it came out.
You probably saw Armageddon instead, didn't you?
How did you know?
Well, Deep Impact is a fun one.
Whoa.
Wow.
Comet
The anime,
hits
the
the
Dragon
Earth.
Ball Z trail.
Big boom. I love
man.
that scattering. That's cool.
For some reason, this scene like stuck with me as a kid. I still remember this.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, you just hug at that point. That's a hug moment.
But yeah, look at the size of that wave.
Dang, what would you do?
Surf it. Ooh,
Dude,
yikes.
dude,
Yeah,
whack.
that was a little wacky, but everything else is pretty cool.
Don't forget, this came out in the very earliest days of water simulations.
98.
Yeah.
Dang, it's so ambitious. How did they do all that foam and spray? Like, what
This
was
shot,
their
look at those
approach?
people on the building, the water going around the building.
Feels so violent.
This was done mostly through a lot of like geometry animation for the main body of the water, and then a lot of particles for all the whitewater stuff. And even with all of that, I'm still blown away that they were able to create the shaders for this. Like the buildings actually collapsing and moving around. They didn't even have the terminology for voxels back then. They were just dividing it up into voxels to do all the water going around all the buildings, and it was like a real big deal. He discovered that Navier-Stokes water sim paper came out at around the same time as they were doing the effects on this movie.
Did he utilize it?
Yeah, he tried to at least.
It's the paper built and used for ants.
Yeah.
Oh. my
Yeah,
bad.
so like this shot, it was
Wow.
an actual like water sim trying to take advantage of that math. And then someone else did the sim for all the people on top. All those people on top of the building are single pixel particles.
Whoa, they're casting shadows though.
Yeah, I don't know how they did that, but they're all just particles. And apparently the guy had like stories for each one of those little pieces.
Dude, they're so clever. Can you imagine not being sure how to do like legit liquid simulation, and then you read this script and you're like, yeah, we got it. We'll figure it out.
This was one of the first super tidal wave movies, right? It's a disaster flick, but there's been many more disaster movies since then, and I figured we should take a look at another tsunami from a movie starring a very rocky guy.
Rocky. Sylvester Stallone.
I see it!
They're trying to get over it, dude. It's the only move. It's the only move.
This movie came out in 2015, so 20 years after.
This is hilarious.
Dang, everyone's just gunning it,
Everyone's gone, yeah.
dude. I need a cruise ship though. I need a full-size cruise
Where's the
ship.
captain saying, full stop?
But then it gets a little ridiculous as they're starting to get like kind of vertical. And it's like, okay,
Entering the Fast and the Furious territory.
a little bit.
They
Look
go
at
to
those
space.
wakes though. Those beautiful simulated wakes.
Like the quality of these shots are very, very high.
He didn't make it.
They're almost at the top. And
Oh,
then
what's that? Is that a building? That's a shipping container.
just one.
Oh, shoot. I said I wanted a cruise ship. This is just
Oh,
as
he
good.
turns. He turns. Oh, that's a crazy shot. Yeah.
There's a shot on the bridge that blows me away.
Yo.
Dude, that
Whoa.
shot. That freaking shot. That shot. Am I right? Oh my
Yum,
God.
dude. My eyes are eating good.
Yeah, that's a full CG shot there. It's like all the people, all the cars, the bridge, obviously, the water.
That's an insane shot.
That's an
Right?
insane shot.
Scanline VFX, they do some of the best water simulations out there. They're the masters of water.
Oh, wow, wow, wow.
All the
wow.
dude, the suspension, the digi-doubles on the bridge, the layers in this,
It's just so detailed.
the bridge dynamics, like
There's so many things
the
happening.
there's so many high-level things all wrapped in one 3-second, 4-second shot.
Gosh, that's on the CGI Hall of Fame now. That's
It's
what it's
in.
on the CGI
It's
Hall
in.
of Fame. I think that's just made it in there. Let me write this down.
Wow.
God.
There's an element of this movie that is unrealistic. Surprise, surprise.
Which one?
Like, why would they be there watching this instead of... Why did they just start running?
Yeah, I'm out of there, dude. That's such a good point.
The idea of this movie, San Andreas, is that there's the San Andreas fault line kind of going north through California here, and it gives the big one. It's a 9.5 scale earthquake, or whatever the freaking numbers are. It wouldn't create a tsunami like this at all. So someone simulated a tsunami actually hitting San Francisco. Theoretically, the highest tsunami you could possibly get in San Francisco is like 16 feet.
Oh, I could surf that.
Yeah, because the water doesn't even really hit the... I mean, it hits the shore, but it's not like hitting like where the city is.
Nothing about the tsunami is realistic in this movie at all.
I don't want to watch it anymore.
But the effects are great. There is another movie that actually came out 11 years before San Andreas that had a giant tidal wave in it that I actually thought was pretty good.
Okay, I'm gonna guess, without looking at the tabs, The Day After Tomorrow.
So this is a little like Deep Impact where it's like the waves are going around the buildings.
Already, I'm kind of liking this one, because it's like, I'm not getting like the crazy Hollywood super tsunami size, but like, oh, this is actually still massive and insanely scary without having to crest the Empire State Building.
Right, yeah. It's not like a giant wall of water coming through the city. It's like an actual situation like this where it's a tsunami. It's more of just like the water just kind of rising. They did something really interesting on this movie, which was they filmed on a giant water tank filled with cars, 200 extras. They had to clean the water and heat the water. They were filming in Montreal. And then all the buildings and the waves in the distance are all just like set extension and CG added in. This movie came out in 2004, so this is still kind of early days with large-scale water. Some of the guys who worked on this movie were the same ones who did the water sims for Deep Impact.
Interesting.
Yeah, and this is only 6 years after Deep Impact.
Yeah, I mean, it looks, it's a major improvement.
All the foreground stuff with the real water is really helping this whole sequence.
100%.
You know, you're just constantly reminded that, yeah, these guys are soaked in water. All of these shots, especially in modern times, those are all being simulated in Houdini, which has like the tools to do all the different aspects of the water simulation all in one go. Whereas like back in the day, they were literally inventing the tools on a per shot basis almost. And I think nowadays you can kind of tell that it's all Houdini.
I give the award for Best Tsunami to San Andreas. It made me feel very excited.
It was very exciting and
Very
cool.
exciting.
And that particular wiggly bridge shot.
Oh, got
Dude,
my
that wiggly
bones
bridge,
brewing.
that shot, that's just such a great shot.
Magic.
Such a great
It's
shot. I can't believe I
magic.
haven't seen it yet.
Magic.
What a joy. I did not expect to go into today seeing one of my favorite shots.
Don't forget about our new shirt, available for only 1 week on corridordigital.store. If you're a corridordigital.com subscriber, you actually get 15% off all the merchandise you want.